come to see us when you ready to make that content. Let's go. COC, yeah, and the mastermind click. Got the vibes that
Central Ohio creators, we are back with another episode. We got a special guest here with me today. We got J Brodie, the host of Cloth Talk Podcast. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm excellent, man. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here. You know, this is new for me. This is weird for me because I'm normally interviewing people, so now be on the opposite side. You know, this is good. But I'm excited to be here with y'all, man. Thanks for inviting me on. Like I said, I was going to return y'all the favor. Y'all came on my platform, so it's only right I show love and come on y'all.
Definitely. We appreciate that.
Oh, man, this is all love.
First question I got for you is,
yes, sir.
Can you tell us a bit about your upbringing in Philadelphia and how it got you shaped to who you are today?
Man, growing up in Philly, North Philly to be exact, it was tough. You know, it's either you a lamb or you a wolf. So either you gonna, become, food, or you're gonna be the one doing the killing to survive. So, I had to find a spot in between that to, make sure that I'm, taking care of myself. I'm not becoming a victim, not blaming people. So through that time, you develop a kind of hard exterior, but I wasn't in the street life. I kind of knew people all around me that was in it. So watching people around me growing up, I seen the mistakes that they made, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to make those mistakes. So kept my head straight, kept my my path guided, so that way I can try to make something of myself. So, but we made it out there, man. We made it. It was tough, but mom did her best. So salute to mom too.
What early experiences helped you or shaped your influence in wanting to get into media?
Yeah, man, it's crazy because piggybacking off coming up in Philly, I was real shy as a kid. A lot of people see me today, and they are surprised. If they from Philly and they know me and they see me where I'm at today, here in Ohio doing this podcast, and they're we would never thought that this man would be doing a podcast, have his own platform, because it was almost to the point where I wouldn't even talk.
Wow.
I was super shy as a kid. So I had to force myself to come out that shell, and I knew I had to get away from my environment. I knew I had to get out. So I made a decision, you know what, I need to get out of here. I got to get out of this city. So what I did was I just submitted a bunch of applications to colleges outside of Philly and Pennsylvania. So one of the schools that I was whatever school's going to accept me first, that's where I'm going. And lo and behold, that school was Wilberforce University. Wow. So I ended up accepting the offer letter. Told my mom, I was look, Mom, I got accepted to a college. She's oh, that's great. Where is it at? I was Ohio. Ohio? We on the East Coast. We in this big city, and people who aren't familiar with the state of Ohio, you just automatically think cornfields. Right. So we didn't know nothing about Ohio. And I was I'm just gonna take the chance. I had to convince her to let me, get out of here. Let me be a man. Let me stand on my own too. So landed on Wilberforce, majored in psychology, and during there, they had a program to audition for the radio station. So remember, I had to force myself to get out that shell. So I was okay, you know what? This is an opportunity. So at the time, I met my ex-wife. And she was you want to try out for it? I was shit, let's do it. So we try out for it, we get it, and that's kind of where I got the bug. And after that, it just kind of snowballed.
Wow. Was there any people in journalists growing up that you was inspired by?
Yeah, it is. There's
Stuart Scott, or
so I probably can point to 4 or 5 people. So back in Philly, there was a guy on the radio named Poochie. He was on Power 99. You got Cosmic Kev, Q Deezy. I remember seeing him in person for the first time when I was starstruck. He was just walking through this. They had a show in one of the high schools out there in Philly, and I seen him walking through the hall by Dolo. This is by himself, and I'm just this little kid's looking at him oh, that's Q Deezy. I didn't even say nothing, but. It was kind of figures like that. Star from Star and Buck Wild. Okay. Howard Stern is one. Joe Rogan. So I kind of like look at them and try to like incorporate, what they do into my own style. So those kind of like the figures that I look to in the media space.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. What was the turning point that made you decide to start the Cloth Talk podcast?
Yeah, man. So it's interesting. So once I graduated from Wilberforce, I was reflecting back on the experience that I had on the radio station, and I was like, man, like I really enjoyed that, having an on time slot, and we would bring guests in and we play the music, and the whole format of a radio station. You play the ads, you do the reads for all the promos and stuff like that. I was like, that was fun, but I realized that my favorite part was the interviews with the artists and the guests and stuff. Like more than just like playing the music and recording the voiceovers or whatever, the ads and stuff like that. I was like, I really enjoy like getting people's stories and like chopping it up with them. So I was like, I want to continue doing something like this. Now, mind you, this is back in, so I graduated, 2013 from college. So this is early on. Like now, where we're at now, like podcasting has blown up. But at that time, podcasting was like just like blooming and just starting. Like people are still like, what the fuck is a podcast? Right. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start my own little thing. So I bought two microphones from Amazon, and that was it. I started right there, man. So yeah, it started with the radio station, man. So then after that, I met a guy by the name of Bryson Bell, who's supposed to be my co-host. So, but this is the real exception of Cloth Talk. So, like, working with him, we was co-workers. I'm not going to say the job that we was at to protect him because he's still there. So, I got to protect him, man, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I meet this guy. Now, mind you, this is in Cincinnati. I'm not in Columbus yet. So, I'm in Cincinnati at this point. And, like, we having these conversations, like, during breaks and stuff, like, when it's downtime, when it's slow. And he's saying stuff. I'm like, yo, this dude a real live Uncle Ruckus. I'm like, like everything he's saying is anti-black, and this dude is the blackest dude you probably ever see. So it was tripping me out. And in my back of my mind, I'm like, oh, this is a show. This is something. This would be entertaining. So I was like, man, it's like if I bought some equipment, this is me talking to him. I'm like, if I bought equipment, would you be down to do like a little show, a podcast? He didn't know what a podcast was. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I go on Amazon and buy the equipment, and we do. One episode was just fucking terrible, horrible, terrible episode. Audio fucked up, levels is fucked up. Everything is bad, man. But we did not listen back to it. But I still was like, it was fun and entertaining to me. So lo and behold, we do 2 episodes. Then he just eventually fell off, didn't take it seriously. So I had to reinvent it, But yeah, that's right there. That's where it started at. That's 2015, 2016.
Before podcasting, when it came to like when you was in school, was there any like classes or anything that you took?
In college or high school?
In college.
College. No, that's the crazy part about it. Like I have no.
Oh, so you won that competition and guess it was meant to be.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like no training. I didn't go to school for broadcasting. Didn't go to school for anything media related. My major was psychology. And that's like, I guess
that goes hand in hand.
Yeah. When I look back at it, I'm like, okay, like that actually is an applicable skill because when it comes to conversating and making people feel comfortable, that's one of the biggest feedbacks that I get when people come on the show. They're like, man, you make your guests feel real comfortable. Yeah. Like there's something about you that people feel like they just be themselves, and meeting them for the first time and they just spill everything, and I'm just like, I guess that's a gift to have. But yeah, man, no formal training, no broadcasting school, no media training. I just learned, man, just learning on the job, just reps, studying the people that I named earlier. You look at Charlamagne the Guy, just Howard Stern, QDZ, like I said before, Poochie from Philly. Just like watching and like being real observant how they orchestrate conversations. I'm like, okay, I see with it I think I can do that, and put my own spin on it.
What are some of the challenges you face so far with podcasting?
Man, a lot, man. Like podcasting isn't easy. You know, like if you do this or if you do anything like media related, it's literally a full-time job. Like if you really taking it seriously, if you want to like have it look, your production look good, your quality is everything. So some challenges like you can have equipment malfunctions. If your show is guest based, guests not showing up, or got to reschedule, or timing, or even as a interviewer or host, like not having your stuff together in time. Because like if you're doing this as a side thing, you still got a job. You still got to fit time in to prepare your show and be ready to go. So certain challenges like that, and then me being not originally from here in Columbus, starting my podcast in Ohio, in Cincinnati/Columbus. I had to learn the law of the land out here. That's probably the biggest one. Once I got like the flow of conversation and interview and the format and all that stuff and editing and all that stuff, that's a whole other challenge in itself. Editing is a big one. Being a fish out of water, so to speak, I had to learn how to navigate this city, Columbus, because it's way different than East Coast and being in Philly. Like I remember when I first started, I'm looking at the landscape of other podcasters out here, and I'm like, okay, let me befriend these people. let me reach out and like, man, let's band together. Let's do this thing together. I see what y'all doing. I'm getting my thing going. I got a little bit of experience. I can see that you're starting your thing, blah, blah, blah. Let's connect. Well, fuck out of here. So it was a rude awakening. And, the more that I tried to, like, develop relationships with other people in the media spaces out here, the more the door was just kind of like shut in my face. I'm like, is it me or is it something? Like, is it because I'm not from here? Like, I can understand that. But then as I had more artists on the show, and they would just break it down to me like, that's just how it is out here. I'm like, oh, that's just the culture. And that was probably the biggest challenge, was being like, damn, like you just got to figure it out yourself. Like, you dolo. Which, if I wasn't from Philly, I probably wouldn't have been able to do that. Because that, like you said, asking me earlier, like, how did it shape me to do that? Like, having that tough background. I was like, okay, that's no issue. Like, I've been told no plenty of times, but we're going to keep this thing rolling,
Yeah. How was you able to connect with so many people?
Bro, I tell you, I'm a go-getter. I'm relentless. I can be very, I don't give up easily. Like, so I remember first starting out, this is like 2016, and it was just when I lose my supposed co-host, Bryce. And I'm like, damn, man, okay, like, I want to start interviewing people. So I'm like, how I'm going to get people to see that I'm serious, that I'm not just like some dude that's like, yo, I want to interview you. And, they look at my product and they're like, we good, we're okay. So first, I had to make sure that my production quality was up to par. So because they're going to do their research, they're going to look. Like, they're going to, okay, let me see if this guy's serious. So I said, the first thing I was like, okay, bang, I need to learn how to edit and make it look nice. So, bought better mics, better mixing board, cameras and stuff. Like, okay, bam, now we set. So now I look like I got a show. Now I look like something. So I learned that presentation is key. You got to look like you're serious about what you do. So I said, once I got the product right, I was like, okay, like, now let me start reaching out to people. So at first, I was surprised about, like, how many people were just like, yes. Like, I'm like, damn, like, that was easy. Like, all it just took was like, hey, what's up? My name is Jerome. People call me J Brodie. You're wrong. I host a podcast called COC Talk Podcast, where I interview guests from the city, yada, 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 give them the whole spiel. And they're like, sure, we'd love to. I was like, damn, that was it. And then I realized that no one was reaching out to these people. Right. So I found that there was a void, and I was like, ooh, I got something. Because I realized that I'm still in Philly mentality, like the whole brotherly love thing. I'm thinking everybody's like hitting them up and wanting to talk to them. And I'm like, man, they probably got time on my little joint. I'm just starting out here. And they was like, you the first person to ask me for an interview. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, wait, you've been in this city your whole life. You've been doing this in this industry for X amount of years, and no one's asked you to like come on they show or have a platform. It's like, nah, bro. Like, you the first one. I was like, damn. And I just kept running into that. And that snowballed to them telling people, hey, there's this guy from Philly that got this podcast in the city called Cloud Talk. Y'all need to, he's interviewing everybody. So it became a word of mouth thing. And it just snowballed. Like, I'm getting this person, that person, that person, that person, and that person. And then from there, like, I started gaining strength and power with the platform. And then that gave me the ability to, like, okay, now I'm gonna start reaching out to people who I want to have on. So it became a combination of people being very pleased with their experience when they come on the podcast and be able to just tell their story uninterrupted, because they feel like no one's listening to them. And when you get on the platform, they get their shit off and present whatever their product is, or if they're an artist, I play their music. They business owner, we promote the business. You got a product or service, everything. So there's like, man, I can express myself on this platform. We don't got a lot of platforms like that. You doing it like that, like, keep doing that. I'm like, bet. So yeah, man, and that's what gave me legs. And I just now it's to the point where I don't really have to ask a lot of people, because people just, message me like, yo, man, I seen your interview with such and such. That's my man. Can I get on? Or, they'll just come to me like, yo, man, I would love to come on. I do this and this. So now I can just like kind of sit back and just like look at DMs and be like, hey, you picking the litter, so to speak. So, but I still reach out to people who I want to get on. And there's still a long list of people who I haven't got to sit down with in this city, because there's a lot of untapped talent in this city. A lot of untapped talent, man. But yeah, man, that's how I was able to like get it rolling with just like, you can't be timid. You can't just wait for people to discover you. You got to go out there and put yourself out there. Whether it's showing up to events, I would go to some of the local showcases out here. I would go to the shows. I would look up flyers. I would go on the Facebook group pages, Instagram, and type in events in Columbus. And I was like, all right, boom. Okay, I'm going there. I'm introducing myself. Hey, what's up? My name's Rom. Do a podcast. What the have you on? Bet. Say less. Let's exchange information. Let me know when. So yeah, man. Groundwork, baby. Groundwork.
How would you describe the creative scene when it comes to podcasting between Columbus compared to Philly?
Oh, that's a great question. It is there. The difference is with Philly, right, is because there's so much going on in Philly. It's almost like commonplace to like everyone has like to like have a platform and everybody to show love to your platform. Here in Columbus, like I was going back to before, the self-division, it still
Crazy.
bugs my mind. I be looking at this city, I was like, man, if everyone like band together and came together like for like a common goal or like a central purpose, like the power, if everyone moved in unison, oh my God. Cause I see what it's like in Philly. Like, yo, this what we on, this what we all doing. You got that, you're good at that, you're good at that.
Yeah.
You got the connections, you know how to organize events. You the graphic guy, you the editor. And everyone's like, bet, this the mission. Everybody here is like, yo, like, I don't need nobody else. I'm gonna do it by myself. I'm gonna do it on my own. Yeah. But everyone's chasing the same thing, but they feel like they gotta do it alone. So that's the difference. It feels like a lot of people gotta like almost assume that no one's gonna back them, no one's gonna support them. So it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna put all the chips on me and not befriend people and I understand it because you get burnt in this industry. You develop that callous, like, man, fuck that, I'm not reaching out to nobody. Right. I'm just gonna be solo dolo. And I try to discourage that. I don't promote that message like, yeah, just do it by yourself. Yeah, you got it. You know, even though I had to learn that hard way, like I said, I kept going. I could have got discouraged, like, damn, ain't nobody want to show me love. Nobody want to, link up. But I was like, you know what? Having that Philly background, that mentality, like, yo, I'm just going to keep going and show them, like, damn, like, he really stuck with it. Like, yeah, like, this is what possible. This is what possible if you, like, band with each other, man. Like,
Right.
It's crazy. So that's the two distinct differences I see from being the media scene in Philly versus here in Columbus.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It blows my mind every day.
Well, now that you've kind of like got like momentum and like a lot of people know who you are, how do you go about like picking like people that's serious from people that be bullshitting?
Yeah, man. I had to learn that too. Because like I don't want to come off like, yeah, you gotta be somebody, be on my shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do something. No, man. But like going back to being prepared and doing research, because what I look for is I don't care about I don't look at like your follower count. I don't look at like, oh, you only got this amount of followers. So nah. I look for if you're taking your craft serious. Like that's what I really look for. Like I look for if you're passionate about it, if you mean what you say you're doing. Like, is it just for a look? Is this a gimmick? Are you really about it? Or are you just like putting up front just to be like, hey, look at me? Like, is there passion deep down in there? Because if you come on the platform, it's going to get exposed. Now you look stupid. So what I look for is, like just for someone who's like really passionate about what they're doing and they care and they have a mission, a goal behind it. So I used to just like have, now everybody, come on, let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Because I'm thinking, I got to get content. I got to get guests. Yeah. I got to get do this and this and this. And before you know, you're seeing that, okay, like there's no depth to this person. Right. It's just like, but interesting enough, like if you're creative enough as an interviewer and a conversationalist, you can like make it look like something. So, but yeah, that's how like nowadays I go about it as far as like picking guests. Like I was saying earlier, like now I got to the point where I can literally do that, if I want. That's just someone specific that I want. Like I want to reach out to them. But yeah, man, I look for those things. I look for like, are you really serious about what you're doing? And that's all really I look for. Like, you know what? Let's chat about it, man. Let's get this story about what you got going on.
Ooh. Yeah. Now we promote positive, so I'm just gonna ask you.
Let's do it.
Who's your top 3 guests that you enjoyed?
Top 3 guests so far. Damn, that's tough. I don't know. So many people. I've been doing this since 2016. Keith. Damn. Okay. I'm trying to think the first couple ones that popped me. Okay, there's this artist that I had on by the name of Little Louisiana. Obviously, you can tell by his name where he's from. Yeah. So, and he lived out here for a little bit. I'll put him in there as one of the top 3. Second, John Sprees, artist out here by the name of John Sprees by way of Dayton. He's been on the show plenty of times. Every time he comes on, it's a dope conversation. So I'll throw him on. And third, oh, this is tough, man. I'll probably say Deanna Clark. Okay. Deanna Clark, she's a domestic violence survivor. She was shot point blank range in her head and survived. And her story, man, is when we was talking on that episode, that really like kind of like just hearing her story, and she was super open and honest about it. So those are like the first 3 that kind of like jump in my head right now. Yeah, those 3 guests. Okay. Yeah, okay. John Sprees, Deanna Clark, and who was the first person I just said? Louisiana. Yeah, Louisiana. Those are the first 3 that jump in my head. Sorry if I forgot you. I've been doing this since 2016, man. What you expect?
Right. Now, when it comes to like podcasting, have you had any trouble like when it comes to like finding sponsors? Yeah, man. Because a lot of sponsors or a lot of companies still don't understand podcasting. They don't understand how powerful it is and how beneficial it could be for them to have their stuff promoted on a podcast.
They don't understand like the reach, like who's going to be on there, who's going to see it, and I think companies are now starting to catch up to it because if you pay attention, you'll start to see a lot of ads and podcasts now. They're starting to, what you see these deals with Amazon, with Netflix now doing podcasts. Obviously, YouTube's a big platform for podcasts. But early on, I was so early. So like trying to convince people like back in 2015, 2016, like, hey, I got this show and it's called this. And they're like, huh? They're like, what? Like, explain it again. I'm like, so it's called podcast. Like, podcast. Like, what's a podcast? So then you gotta explain the whole thing from like I was so early, man. Like it was tough to like get people like to buy into it because they just understand the concept. There's like, why would I do that? And radio's right there. So you had to battle with radio, at that time. But that time, went on. I continued to prove myself, to continue the podcast would continue to grow, and people like, hey, I got this thing you brought up. I'm like, aha, got your ass. So you just keep steady at it, and I stopped just like trying to reach out. And I was like, I'm just gonna keep investing in myself. They'll see it. Yeah. They'll see the value in it. And sure enough, they reach out to you like, hey, how much would it cost for you to shout me out? How much would it cost for an ad roll? And then you start doing your research. What's an ad roll? Do you learn that there's a pre-roll, mid-roll, and end roll? So it's an ad in the beginning of your podcast. A mid is the ad in the middle, and then you end it with an ad. Or you can hit them all at the beginning or all in the middle. So, I'm learning those things like, okay, this is how much I would charge for a pre-roll. This is how much I would charge to flash a picture of your product. This is how much I would charge for product placement. Meaning, if you got a table or a display, you can charge people that got merch or something to place their product on here. So I started learning also like, oh, there's money in there. There's a little hustle. So you start kind of getting hip to like, all right, like you got your t-shirt company. I'll wear your t-shirt on a joint for X amount. You negotiate and you just keep doing that way. So yeah, you start you want to show them something that they can see the benefit in, and luckily I've been able to do that.
No.
Yeah.
Now, what do you hope the listeners take away from each episode of Cloth Talk?
Great question. That's the whole premise of Cloth Talk. My whole goal with Cloth Talk is to show this city what this city has, man. Because it's easy to be self-indulgent, to be like, hey, look at me, look at my platform, look how cool and dope I am, and just, big yourself up all the time. But I think it's much doper and flyer if we all eat together.
Yeah.
Like, and I hope that, the people, the creatives, the entrepreneurs in Columbus just see, like, what y'all have in this city, because it baffles my mind how many times I have on whether it's entrepreneurs, creatives, artists, et cetera, you name it, that people right here in their same city do the same exact thing that they do and they don't even know each other.
Right, it's crazy.
It blows my mind every time. So that's the whole goal. And for people who are not just in Columbus, whether, wherever they listen or watching from, I hope that they leave enlightened and inspired, after listening to a story from a person that they probably would never know of if they never just, didn't click on the podcast. They just come across it random and they just listen to a person's story and it hit home for them. Those are very rewarding. So that's what I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where do you see Cloth Talk in the next 10 years?
Ooh, I got plans. I got plans. Oh, man. I don't want to say, but I'll say it, like, because I want nobody to jack it. But, man, eventually, like, I got some big plans. Like, I do want to start my own podcast network. Okay. So, eventually, I want to step from, behind, well, I guess out in front of the camera, so, and producing other shows, because I dibbled and dabbled in that, a little bit, helping people start their own shows, showing them how to edit a podcast, how to upload to Spotify, YouTube, how to create clips, how to do this, et cetera, et cetera. I want to help people get into that space, because like now as we see, it's booming. It is booming. You know, like there is a lot of powerful stuff that can come out of podcasting.
Right.
And like it's, if you utilize it and you learn mastery of it, like podcasting, the avenues that it can lead to, just interviewing. Like I want to do boot camps. I want to do podcast boot camps. Like show people like what it's really like to produce a show from start to finish. Like this is what it looks like. Because a lot of people just think you just turn on the mic and the camera and y'all just talking shit. You know, there's a lot of work that's behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. So, you know, I want to start network, host boot camps, produce other shows. And eventually, man, I got some big lofty goals after that too. Man, I want to start a TV station, TV networks, TV station,
right,
where, you know, I was talking about the untapped talent in this city, where we have a TV station, we have a whole station that's just dedicated and putting people on TV, whether it's comedy show, sports show, podcast show, etc., man. So I got some lofty goals, man. Don't steal my shit out there. I'm watching.
Now, with you being from Philly,
Yeah.
a town that's like known for like lyricists and like
Yeah,
real
man.
true hip hop, how
Yes,
has
sir.
it been compared to like the hip hop here in Columbus? Well, not just Columbus, but like all of Ohio.
Yeah, being from Philly, man, I didn't realize that you get spoiled. Bro,
Y'all got Jill Scott.
man, we got so much talent comes out of Philly. Jill Scott, The Roots, Black Thought, and you got, of course, all the rappers: Meek, Beans, Petey Craig, Chris and Neef, Freeway, Cassidy. I mean, AR Ab. The list goes on and on. Will Smith, of course. So many people from Patti LaBelle's from Philly. You know, like being from Philly, where like you said, like that true grit, them lyricists, that hard rap style. Once I left Philly, because I'm thinking, because I left Philly at like 17, 18, right? I'm thinking everybody music sounds like this. So, yo, I get to Ohio, and, you know, and this is like 09, when I first arrived to Ohio for college. So, like, this is never lived anywhere outside of Philly, never really traveled outside of Philly. So I get to college, and I'm exposed to people from Cincinnati, people from Detroit, people from Cleveland, people from LA, people from I'm like, and I'm hearing this stuff, and I'm like, what is this? Like at first I was like, where the bars at? I'm like, where's the hard shit? I'm like, where is the hard rap? Because everything was, at that point in time, and kind of still now, everything was kind of, it was more feel and vibe to, like, we in the moment right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to bar you to death right now. Like, we just about to turn up. We about to get lit. This is the joint for the lit. This is the joint for the girls. It's the twerk song. This for the clubs. And I'm like, oh, okay. They not on that. And then, like, the whole battle scene stuff. I'm like, yo, like, where the smoke at? Like, motherfuckers beefing? I'm looking for, like, yo, where the mixtapes at? Where the beat? I'm like, man, ain't nobody on that beef shit. Like, we get lit out here. I'm like, oh. So it's kind of like a letdown, but I learned to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Later on, I was like, okay, every city ain't aggressive like Philly. They're like, man, like, we chilling, we cool, we just about to smoke, be around the chicks, you know, turn on the beat, we about to just vibe and get lit. So it took some adjusting to, like, even the slang, how the beat moves, the BPMs. So, like, at first I was like, man, I don't like it. But then as I started having artists on the show, and they would play the music, I was like, okay, like, Rome, you gotta be open to it, Brodie. You gotta get out that Philly shit, man. Like, everything ain't gotta be like that. So I started to learn to appreciate it. I was like, man, like, they actually dope. They got their own kind of flavor. I was like, okay, I learned to appreciate it over time. But yeah, it's definitely different. Definitely different, man.
Who are your top 5 rappers of all time?
Ooh, all time. Damn, all time. Now I'm just gonna go back to my East Coast bias. let me try to be diverse. All right, so Nas is number one for me. Second, I'll go Scarface. Third, I'm gonna throw Beans in there. Fourth, who do I listen to a lot? Raekwon, man, from Wu-Tang. Throw Raekwon in there. Fifth would be. Damn, that's tough. I'll probably throw Banks in there.
Okay.
Lloyd Banks.
Okay.
Give me Banks for the win.
People sleep on Banks. He's
Banks,
still dope.
Banks crazy.
Yeah.
Banks crazy, man. Yeah, those would be my five right there. Yeah. I could go like all 80s, like old school, but like motherfuckers like, who are you talking about? Rakim, KRS, one of all those guys. But those are pioneers. They go without saying.
What's your favorite thing about living in Columbus?
Man, you know what? The food is underrated here. There's some good food here, man. Food is pretty good here. And you know what I really like? The pace. The pace of this city. Because coming from the East Coast, everything is gotta get to it. I had to learn how to slow down like out here because people kind of just like move not at a like there's not a sense of urgency a lot of time, like they're in a rush unless you're just driving crazy, but that's different. But the pace is much different here than being from like a big city on the East Coast. So I actually like that because it fits my personality. I'm more calm, chill, reserved, laid back. So I really like the pace, the food. Even though we was kind of talking about the division, that the city puts on itself, the diversity that you get from the division is you get a lot of events to pick from. So everyone's kind of doing their own thing. A lot of events going on. So you got to have your pick of the litter. Like, okay, I'm going to go to that one this weekend, or I'm going to go to that one. Or you could probably do 3 in one night. You're like, we're going to go here. So, yeah, I like those 3 things about the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I got to ask you to shout out all your socials.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, man. So if you want to follow the podcast, everything is cloth_talk_podcast. That's on IG. Got the Facebook page. It's Cloth Talk Podcast as well. No Twitter or TikTok yet, because I figure like that's too much to manage.
Right.
Like, managing all those social accounts is, tough. You can watch the full episodes on YouTube as well. That's Cloth Talk Podcast. And if you just want to listen, you can listen on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, all them good platforms you can listen to the podcast. So everything is Cloth Talk Podcast. And if you want to follow my personal Facebook account, it's Rome Barkley. So you can reach out to me.